commonly for the purpose of warding off these spirits.
Oh, that's when they had a fire here. Supposed to ward off some evil spirits. You know, we're going to light a fire. You know, in some place they had a big bonfire, and I ain't going to say it, but it's this one city, they just go stone crazy. Yeah. And it's a city in this United States too here, and they just be burning down stuff. I ain't going to call the name of it. Go ahead and read on. You done heard about it. Go ahead and read.
Among the ancient Celts, Halloween was the last evening of the year, and it was regarded as a propitious time for examining the portents of the future. The Celts also believed that the spirits of the dead revisited their earthly homes on that evening.
So now you got the spirits of the dead that's supposed to be coming back on that evening. So on the 31st, then you got the spirits of the dead that is supposed to return to their earthly homes. Go ahead and read on.
After the Romans conquered Britain, they added to Halloween features of the Roman harvest festival held on November 1st in honor of Pomona, goddess of the fruits of trees.
Oh, so now we get to it here, don't we? We're dealing with some god named Pomona. So when you do the Halloween, you didn't know you were dealing with some pagan deity when you did the Halloween thing, did you? So now you know. I told you that idolatry is still going on. This is the present day. So now you're dealing with some Pomona, whoever that is. We ain't through yet. We got to read some more. Let's read something here. I told you, just sit back here, just so you can see about some of these pagan gods that you are still dealing with here. This time we want to read from the last 2 million years, and we are dealing with page 216. Go ahead and read it, brother, right there. Give us the subtitle, too.
Pagan rites absorbed.
Pagan rites absorbed. That means you're dealing with something other than the true and living God here. Go ahead and read.
By a stroke of tactical genius, the church, while intolerant of pagan beliefs, was able to harness the powerful emotions generated by pagan worship.
Now, you know what church this is? Same one that gave you Halloween. Same one. It's going to tell you about it further down there. Go ahead and read.
Often, churches were sited where temples had stood before, and many heathen festivals were added to the Christian calendar.
Now, he said many heathen festivals was added to the Christian calendar. See, go ahead and read.
Easter, for instance.
Easter, pagan. Go ahead and read.
A time of sacrifice and rebirth in the Christian year. Takes its name from the Norse goddess Astarte.
So now you done went from Pomona on Halloween to Astarte on Easter. So you still dealing with the idolatry, aren't you? Even in this generation. You know, we ain't going to call it by its old name because that's what they did. You know, they mingled it together, as we're going to read in an article a little bit later. They, said them old gods, they did not die out easily. So what we going to do, we're going to keep this paganism. We're going to still deal in this idolatry, but what we going to do, we're going to dress it up to make it look Christian. But it is what it is, ain't it? As they said, a rose by any other name is still a rose. You can call it whatever you want to, but it is what it is. And it is pagan. That's what it is. Pomona to Astarte. Go ahead and read on.
In whose honor rites were held every spring. She, in turn, was simply a northern version of the Phoenician earth mother, Estra, goddess of fertility.
Some goddess of fertility. So now I just want you to understand what you're dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? So the idolatry still exists, doesn't it? You done went from Pomona to Astarte to Estra. That is enough. Let's read something else about some more of that paganism, that idolatry that's still in the church. Let's go. In fact, you're going to keep this book for another minute. Find page 144 for me. There you go. Read right there what's underlined and read. Go ahead and read.
Worship of the old gods did not die out at once.
I got news for you. Still haven't died out. You understand what I'm saying? So they still did. You doing Halloween, ain't you? So you're dealing with Pomona, right? You doing Easter, ain't you? So you're dealing with Astarte and Estra then, right? So they still ain't died. Go ahead and read on.
Gregory himself advised his missionaries to leave the pagan shrines alone.
Now this Gregory, he was a Roman bishop. Go ahead and read.
And to try to introduce Christian worship only gradually alongside pagan practices.
In other words, we ain't going to stop the paganism. we're going to just introduce Christianity alongside. We're going to mingle this stuff all together, and we're going to make it look Christian. Go ahead and read.
This mingling of Christianity and paganism is the reason why Christ's birthday is celebrated on December 25th, the date of the pagans' winter festival.
Now, the day of what? The pagans' winter festival.
Yes,
so if somebody put a gun to your head, you couldn't read from nowhere in the Bible where Jesus was born on December 25th.
That's right.
We ain't through yet. We got a little bit more. This time, we are reading from the Encyclopedia Americana, Volume 6, page 666. Go ahead. They put it on the right page. I said that. Go ahead.
Christmas.
Uh-huh.
All Christian churches except the Armenian church observe the birth of Christ on December 25th.
Uh-huh.
This date was not set in the West until about the middle of the 4th century, and in the East until about a century later.
Oh, so we talking about 400 years after Jesus' birth, they decided we gonna do this. not when he was born. 400 years later,
Yes,
they decided we gonna do this thing. Go ahead and read some more that's underlined and read there.
The Armenians follow the old Eastern custom of honoring Christ's birthday on January 6th.
Uh-huh.
Origins of Christmas.
They couldn't make up their mind. Some said December 25th, others said January the 6th. That's why you got the 12 days of Christmas, by the way. Go ahead and read it.
The reason for establishing December 25th as Christmas is somewhat obscure, but it is usually held that the day was chosen to correspond to a pagan festival that took place around the time of the winter solstice.
Well, you know, you're dealing with the winter. You know what the winter solstice is? That having to do with the rebirth of the sun. S-U-N. You know, one of the things God said don't worship.
Yes, sir.
He said don't worship, nothing in the heaven or in the earth or in the water, none of that stuff. Whether it be the sun or the moon or the stars or nothing. Don't worship none of that stuff. And here you are doing it. Go ahead and read. In this generation. Go ahead.
When the days began to lengthen.
Go ahead.
To celebrate the rebirth of the sun.
Uh-huh.
Northern European tribes celebrated their chief festival of Yule at the winter solstice to commemorate the rebirth of the sun as the giver of light and warmth.
Go ahead.
The Roman Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to Saturn, the god of agriculture.
Oh, now you got Saturn now. Now you done went from Pomona to Astarte to Estra. Now you got the god of Saturn. You dealing with him too. Go ahead and read on.
And to the renewed power of the sun.
Uh-huh.
Also took place at this time.
Go ahead.
And some Christian customs are thought to be rooted in this ancient pagan celebration.
Go ahead.
It is held by some scholars that the birth of Christ as light of the world was made analogous to the rebirth of the sun in order to make Christianity more meaningful to pagan converts.
Anonymous. Go ahead and read anything else and read that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The idea of using evergreens at Christmas time also came to England from pre-Christian Northern European beliefs.
Oh, everybody got to have you got to have a tree. Right. Then you got to have the evergreen, don't you? You know what I'm saying? So now